No, thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We are meeting here with the Senate Rules Committee. It is January 20th. And just to take you back a week ago at this time, the Senate Rules Committee decided that we would meet again today to discuss our plans going forward. And for those of you who may be watching the live stream, the House has come back in some form. There is, I would say, somewhere between 80 and 90 members of the House working within the building. The rest of them are working remotely, so it is a hybrid situation. And we'll be keen to hear from the Speaker and her leadership team, as well as the Sergeant of Arms and the Chief of Police, how that's gone so far. But at this point, I would love to hear from the committee about your recommendations for how the Senate should proceed at this point and when we should check in again about our situation.
I got one question perhaps, Madam Chair, and that we on joint rules indicated that we were getting some additional testimony to help guide us as to when to make decisions that made sense from a public health and a medical standpoint. And I don't know where that stands now. I haven't heard anything more. I'm wondering if you have.
I have not, Senator Brock, and I am very happy to follow up. I know that the last time we inquired of Dr. Levine and Dr. Kelso, they were willing to come. They just couldn't come on the time frame that we had set out. So it's absolutely possible that I can extend that invitation for them either to come to Joint Rules or to come and talk to us, or possibly, we could also, well, I think that's probably the best situation, is to have them come directly to us.
Sure. I think the other question that I have too is with respect to the other branches of government. How and what has changed in terms of how the administration is bringing back members of the executive branch, and how the judiciary is dealing with the judicial branch in terms of, are they open? Or are they bringing everybody in? Are they doing all the things they did before the pandemic? Or are they imposing restrictions as well? It's not necessarily that we will do precisely what they do, but we should at least be aware of it. And may help guide.
I agree, Senator. And my last check-in with the executive branch, the information I received back was that anyone who was able in the capacity of their job to work at home was still being allowed to work from home. But I will absolutely confirm that with, I'll reach out to the Secretary of Administration and see what the policy has been guiding the various departments and agencies at this point. Senator Mazza.
Well, listening to the news every night and all the newspapers and things we read, it's not going away too fast. And my concern is right now the committee room sizes, and right now we're able to have a lot of folks in the waiting room and testify, and that's great because no one is denied access, which they will be in the committee rooms, and we're going to be crowded, and that's scary during these times. And unless something changes dramatically, this is on the safe side. And everybody can participate. Everybody can participate right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I know that has been incredibly important for both my caucus leaders here, that we have that the public has access to all the work that we're doing. And I know there was some concern if we were going to set limits on the number of people in a committee room, how would that be determined? Who would be asked to leave? And I certainly take your point, Senator, that if we continue in this way for right now during this surge, everybody has access to what we're talking about in the committee rooms. Other thoughts, Senator Clarkson?
4 of the 5 of us were at the chairs meeting on Tuesday, and I would say the Senate chairs pretty uniformly asked us that whatever we decide, whenever we decide it, they would like ample notice, at least a 2-week notice as to when we're coming back, because some of them need to make rearrangements on how, they're just a bunch of things, caregiving and bunches of things that need to be put into place for people. And as Senator Brock noted in some of our discussions about this, I think as we go forward, we need to just be constantly aware of what the data is, what is weighing it all thoughtfully. We still haven't reached the peak yet in Omicron. And I think we just need to be thoughtful. You know, we hospitalizations up. We've gone over 500 deaths now, which is heartbreaking to have lost over 500 Vermonters. And I think we need to do this thoughtfully and as scientifically as possible. And so with that thought in mind, and having listened to, I mean, Cheryl hasn't weighed in yet, but Senator Hooker, before I say anything, why don't you go?
No, I would agree. I would agree. And I think that, we really need to keep an eye on hospital rates, what's happening in the hospitals. And another thing about the State House, it's so many of the areas that had offered kind of overflow are being used for other purposes now, for committee rooms. So, is there really possibility of having that social distancing that we need to remain safe? I think Senator Mazza is right about the size of the committee rooms. They don't get any larger, and more people can have access certainly through Zoom.
As opposed to us, Senator Hooker, during COVID, many of us have gotten larger, but our rooms haven't.
I could identify with that, Senator.
So a question I have for the committee at this point, I feel like I've got some of my marching orders, which is to reach out to the health department, see if we can get Dr. Kelso, Dr. Levine, or someone else from VDH to talk to us about measures that we should be looking at, reaching out to the agency of administration to find out what is the executive branch doing right now in terms of remote work, hybrid work. Same with the judicial branch. What else have I missed following up with the speaker, the chief, and the sergeant of arms about how this past week of hybrid legislating has gone for the House. And so the question I have, do you have a question or a comment, Senator Clarkson?
Absolutely. Yes. I also think we need to reach outside of the Department of Health. I really, in joint rules, we had talked about looking at the department, the School of Public Health at Harvard, which Harvard has been offering some very good advice to other committees. I know, and many of our large institutions in the state, the medical school and the School of Public Health have been great resources for Dartmouth, the law school, and UVM and Middlebury. And I think it would be great to sort of have an objective outside of Vermont opinion as well.
I am happy to have
and I'm
Carolyn.
happy to help.
Okay,
that.
great. If you could send any of those contact names or numbers to Carolyn, I'll circle back around with her and see if we can get somebody to give us more information, either over Zoom or in an email that I can then share with all of you. And so I think the only thing remaining is to decide when we will meet again. And so some of that will depend on how I'm able to line up testimony. But in terms of our senators, do we want to let senators know at this point that for the next 2 weeks, we anticipate still working in this remote environment? Is that what I'm hearing from the committee?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I'm looking for a motion.
So move.
Allison, go for it. Yep.
Oh, Dick already did it. Dick.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. So all those in favor of making the decision that the Senate will continue to work remotely for the next 2 weeks, I'll call the roll. That's the question for us. But is there any more discussion or clarification? Okay, I'll call the roll. Senator Mazza.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
Yes.
Senator Hooker.
Yes.
And the chair votes in the affirmative. The vote is 5-0. Secretary Bloomer, anything else that you have on your plate for things that we should be considering? I know we will have, I believe, a joint rules resolution, is that right, to take up on the floor regarding joint rules meeting
That's correct.
remotely?
Yes, I have nothing else, but there is a resolution, JRH 12, that the House passed yesterday, which will allow your joint committees to continue to meet remotely. It's a little different than the process we've used before. The earlier ones were modeled after what the Senate did, sort of in the discretion of the joint rules. This allows more discretion to the chair, but it's necessary because there are meetings that start like today, this afternoon, and maybe a couple next week. So it's necessary to get passed.
Yep,
Okay.
we already have conference committees and all sorts of joint work.
And so
And-
any Secretary Bloomer, any outreach that you think the majority or minority leaders need to do to their caucuses prior to the floor?
On that resolution, I don't believe so. I have heard nothing, no feedback at this point. As you know, we emailed it out to all the senators this morning. It's on the overview page for people to read. I have not had any feedback yet that needs to be addressed.
Thank you. I just also want to say before we leave, I really want to thank Senator Brock and Senator Clarkson as leaders of both your caucuses. I know it's a very difficult time to weigh everybody's feelings about this moment that we're in, their concerns that they have on the home front. I know that in both caucuses we have, we don't have a unifying voice. People have a lot of different opinions on this, and I think you've both been doing an excellent job listening to your caucus members and trying to bring those voices into this meeting. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate this team that we have here, and I feel like the Senate is in good hands with this team.
Not like Washington. Thank God we have Vermont, huh? Isn't that true? When you listen to
Abs-
the news every night?
I do.
Can't agree today's Thursday.
Absolutely. I am grateful every day. And I'm grateful for your tie today, Senator Maza. which makes us
Is it
think
St. Patrick's Day or am I early? What the hell's going on?
You're early, but I love it.
so springy. You're just springing us forward. And with all this lovely light, you make us feel hopeful for the future. So thank you.
Yes. So with that, I will adjourn this meeting. Okay. I will see you on the floor.
At the next meeting, by the way, is it next Thursday?
I think, actually, you're right, Senator Brock. I think that makes the most sense. We'll be meeting, the Senate will be working remotely for the next 2 weeks, but we will meet next Thursday. And hopefully at that point, we'll take more testimony. I appreciate the
Good.
clarification. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a million.